Smart health and nutrition experts will often talk about the psychology of weight loss. It's not enough to tell us to exercise more, stop eating junk food, avoid the center aisles of the supermarket, etc., etc. The root of the problem goes deeper than these strategies can address. So what does work to make us eat less and lose more weight? At this point, it's pretty obvious that berating ourselves is not the answer. Because when we do, many of us trigger an inner rebel that relentlessly fights back, and it does so by eating anything and everything in sight. But the answer is probably not at the other extreme either. To tell ourselves that we're doing everything perfectly is not going to motivate change. But what if we remove the idea of punishment and reward altogether? What would we be left with? Most likely, we would be at a point of dispassionate, unemotional awareness. And believe it or not, this calm and observational state is part of a weight loss strategy that's proven to double the number of pounds we can shed, without noticing any extra effort or a display of bruises from daily self-torture. How simple and effective can this Zen approach actually be? Let's take a look. In 2008, health insurer Kaiser Permanente released results of a study that showed the potential of a mindful approach to weight loss. And while the name Kaiser Permanente doesn't exactly inspire unwavering trust, they do have a vested interest in offering accurate weight loss advice. That, after all, is one method these insurers use to avoid shelling out endless gobs of cash for obesity-related illnesses, costs that are estimated around $150 billion each year in the U.S. alone. In the Kaiser study, nearly 1,700 participants were recruited. Among them, an average of 13 pounds was lost after 6 months. All subjects were put on a high-fiber, low-fat diet with moderate daily exercise, but only some were consistently making notes of what they ate in a daily food journal. And what was discovered is that the more food records a person kept, the more weight they lost. In fact, double the amount, with an average of 18 pounds lost among this group compared to just 9 pounds for those who never or rarely recorded what they ate. Similar results were found in a separate study, courtesy of the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center. This one tracked 123 women over 1 full year, and again found that those who regularly recorded their food intake lost significantly more weight. In this case, 3.7% more, or an extra 6 pounds compared with those who weren't journaling consistently. But is an extra 6 to 9 pounds lost over 6 to 12 months really worth the extra effort? According to expert opinions, absolutely. In fact, losing just 5 pounds lowers the risk of developing high blood pressure by a whopping 20% and vastly decreases the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. Also, keeping a food journal does not have to be that complicated or inconvenient. It could be as simple as sending yourself a quick text every time you consume something, or jotting down each meal or snack on a post-it note. There are also a bunch of food journal smartphone apps to choose from, which make this task easier, more convenient, and even a little bit fun. Regardless of the method, you can go into as little or as much detail as you like. You can simply write down the name of the food or add extra details like time of consumption, level of hunger, location of the meal, emotional state, and anything else you can think of. But the central idea here is to bring awareness to eating. And one cool thing that happens here is that when you commit to recording everything, you'll start to reconsider many food choices. You'll start to find that you'd actually prefer to avoid a food altogether rather than suffer the embarrassment of writing it down. And this is how weight is really lost, with a gentle whisper of awareness, rather than the hard smack of self-hatred.